Hi there, and welcome to Meals with Melissa, where we come up with healthier options for recipes that you might love. Now, I know it's a different day, and I apologize for changing the day, but I need Saturday mornings. I'm actually going to be starting, I'm going to go to a yoga class starting next week, and so making Saturday morning, that's about the only option I have to attend the yoga class, and it just kind of interfered with this. So I figured I'd post these anyway, and you can come back, watch them later. Works out great. So I have a great recipe for you. I know one of the hardest things when I work with new clients is coming up with great ways to make vegetables taste good. So I'm always on the lookout for something new. I also like to try new vegetable recipes myself, just so that maybe I will love a new vegetable, because of course vegetables are important, and most people kind of think, well, yeah, they just don't taste good. Well, that's because our taste buds have become so used to hyper palatable foods, which comes with highly processed, refined, and lots of sugar, right? So trying to come up with some great ideas to help your family eat some vegetables, because vegetables are nutrient dense. They come with lots of vitamins and minerals. So why not? Why not make them taste good? So today we are making Parmesan Crusted Cauliflower. I've got a batch in the oven to show you what they look like when they're done. They smell so good. We're all wandering around the house going, when are they finished? But it's a great, super easy recipe. So all I'm gonna do, I did preheat my oven to 425. I also covered a pan, and now I'm making a half batch, which I'll give you the half batch recipe, but I covered a pan in foil, and then I'm going to spray it just to make sure that it is covered with cooking spray and that it doesn't stick. So that's ready to go right here. And then I have already cut up my cauliflower into bite-sized chunks and placed them in a large, this is a gallon-sized Ziploc bag. So super simple. First thing I'm going to do, now this is about 3.5 cups. The main recipe called for 7, but you know me, I like to make a half batch in advance so I can show you what it's going to look like when it's finished. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take 2 tablespoons of either extra virgin olive oil, or you could use macadamia nut oil. I'm actually using avocado oil today just because I like the flavor, and that's what I had on hand for the moment. So sometimes you have to do a little bit of substitution and it works just fine. So first thing I'm going to do is put 2 tablespoons right directly in the bag over the cauliflower, and shake it up to get it nice and coated, because of course we want our other ingredients to stick to it. Okay, so I'm gonna zip that back up and just give it a really good shake to kind of toss it. Makes it easy for cleanup too. All right, get that nice and coated. All right, so to that I'm going to add, now, of course, you know me, I like to try to make things a little bit healthier. So the original version calls for a half a cup of breadcrumbs. I'm actually going to use ground chicharrones, or pork skins, just because that way I'm not adding a bunch of extra carbs to my meal. And that way also, if you are doing some sort of low carb or keto diet, this is something that you can actually use. So I'm going to use a half a cup of already ground up pork skins. Now be careful, because you know, of course, then they're gonna have a little more sodium than using another ingredient. But if you're eating reasonably clean, you're not getting a whole lot of extra sodium anyway, so it's not too bad. All right, so to that, I'm going to also add 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder. I love garlic, gotta get a little bit of that in there. Give it a little bit of flavor. So 1/4, and I'm just gonna dump them all in and then shake it up again. So 1/4 teaspoon of that, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And of course, I'm not a big fan of iodized salt. I know we can get iodine other ways in our diet, but for the moment, again, that is what, for some odd reason, I have on hand. So I'm gonna add 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and then I'm also going to add about a 1/4 cup of, now this is grated Parmesan. You could use shredded Parmesan, it's totally up to you. Again, I'm just using what I have in my house, which is how most of us cook anyway. I don't know a whole lot of people that run out and go, okay, I need all these things. Sometimes. But when I get good and ready to make something, I usually try to use what I have on hand. All right, so I'm gonna shake that up really, really well. And I'm also going to manhandle it a little bit and make sure that the coating is actually sticking to the cauliflower. Okay, super easy. All right, now of course it's not all gonna stick, but it did a pretty good job, so I'm not too entirely worried about that. I'm gonna take my pan, I'm gonna dump it out on there, and I'm gonna throw it in the oven. See, was that not just super easy? Honestly, what took the longest was cutting up the cauliflower. All right, I'm gonna empty it onto my pan. And don't worry, I will include the recipe down below. Now this is, the original recipe is from, of course I got it off Pinterest, but from a website called iwashyouDry.com. So just wanna make sure that I give them their shout out. But again, I changed the breadcrumbs to the ground pork skin. So I'm gonna throw this in the oven for about 20 minutes, and then I'm going to take it out, stir it up a little bit, make sure that they're cooking on both sides, stick it back in for about 10 minutes, and here's what it's gonna look like. I'm gonna grab my it's almost done. It had about 4 minutes, but that's okay. I wanna show you what it's gonna look like. And it smells amazing. Oh, right? Because to be honest, anything with Parmesan on it and some garlic is gonna be great. So you can see here, they're just roasted a little bit on top. I am gonna throw it back in for a minute just because I want it to finish cooking. And I'll throw the other set in there, but super easy. Guys, you know, sometimes you just have to maybe think a little bit outside the box to get your family to try new things, or even to get you to try new things. Now, the longer and the more vegetables that you eat, and the more that you stay away from highly processed foods and sugars and garbage, actually the better they begin to taste, because it allows your taste buds to gravitate back to the way that they were designed for, right? So try some new things, try some of these recipes, let me know what you think. And if you have a great recipe, don't be afraid to post a comment below or send it to me directly, because you know what, I'll totally give you credit for it. We all just need some great ideas. They're super, super simple and not complicated. So have an incredible Sunday, you guys. It's beautiful out today, so hopefully you're going to enjoy it before your work week begins. Have a good one. Bye now.